Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia organize a groundbreaking ceremony for the new Jing Si Hall in Batam. We meet Surgeon Zhang Yaoxun of Nantou, Taiwan, who applied for retirement to shoulder even more at Tzu Chi's missions. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Though Indonesia's Batam Islands is a thriving municipality thanks to tourism and industrial and commercial development, many living on the smaller islands surrounding Batam are in need of assistance. In order to better serve those living in and around Batam, now a new Jing Si Hall is being built, which is expected to be completed in 30 months.
On the island of Batam, Indonesia, the groundbreaking ceremony of a new Tzu Chi Jing Si Hall kicks off.
巴淡岛有这么好的一个家，可以
Soon, there will be a new home for volunteers in Batam. They can recruit more body service here to help purify hearts and change society for the better.
让这个巴淡岛呢社会更祥和。
The island is only 20 kilometers south of Singapore and has a population of about 1 million people. Not only is it a renowned tourist destination, it is also known for its thriving commercial and industrial development. Tzu Chi first set foot here back in 2000 to hold a free clinic. Since then, volunteers have been steadily carrying out Tzu Chi's missions here.
Though Tzu Chi is a Buddhist charity, it has been holding free clinics regularly to help the residents of Batam. With the new Jing Si Hall, I think more of our citizens will benefit.
Batam Island is very close to Singapore and is surrounded by many smaller islands which are populated by mostly people in need of assistance. With our new home on Batam Island, I think this will help us better serve those in need on the surrounding islands. The new Jing Si Hall will be 6 stories tall and can withstand earthquakes up to 7.0 in magnitude. With a total area of 8,138 square meters, the new Jing Si Hall can also serve as an emergency shelter during disasters.
We offer our blessing to the Batam Liaison Office. May Tzu Chi's mission flourish here, and may many new Bodhisattvas find this new home. This is our most sincere wish.
The new hall is expected to be completed in 2.5 years and shall mark a new beginning for Tzu Chi's work in Batam.
Next, we meet some of the members of Tzu Chi's disaster relief and medical team in Nepal and hear their inspiring stories of how they have been reaching out to quake survivors.
Seeing a woman holding a newborn baby in her arms, Tzu Chi volunteer Zhang immediately rushed to her assistance.
We have a baby doctor come over.
Not only does she speak English fluently, Zhang is also proficient in German and French. This is because, apart from the fact that she's a professional interpreter, she also worked abroad for the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Vienna. Having traveled the world, Zhang says the Nepalese have made the biggest impression on her. I am truly so fond of the Nepalese. Of all the places I've been to and all the people I've met, I've never come across people like the Nepalese who are so courteous and polite, even when asking for help.
This is for peace and safe.
The 7-year-old girl whose leg was crushed during the earthquake can only lie flat on her stomach all day. The girl's bravery deeply moved Tzu Chi volunteer Cai Mingxun.
The Nepalese are very content and grateful people. When you greet them, they always respond with a very warm smile, and that warmth comes from the bottom of their hearts.
Seeing how the Nepalese were never short of a smile or a friendly gesture despite their obvious hardships, for Cai, who is taking part in an international relief mission for the first time, this will be an experience he will never forget. We will pair up into teams of 2. One person will be responsible for taking down the information and the other will be in charge of stamping the distribution form. When we hand the forms back to the residents, don't forget to say thank you. We hope that each team may work together and in harmony. Ensuring more than 1,000 distribution forms are successfully distributed without any hiccups is easier said than done. Amid the chaos, volunteers still uphold Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit to the highest standard.
We follow a standard operating procedure that helps us be fully prepared and to carry out each event smoothly.
Volunteers serve each resident with patience and a heart of gratitude.
Residents were happy and kept thanking us. They always wear a smile on their faces, and they're really happy when we greet them.
Residents did not grow impatient from the long wait. Instead, they joined the volunteers in song and dance. Our reporters followed the senior back to her tent, only to find that 6 adults and 2 children are cramped inside the small tent.
I sleep here. This is where I sleep at night.
This grandma's biggest wish is to have a bed to sleep on.
We don't have beds to sleep on, so when it rained last night, water came gushing inside the tent, and we had to scoop the water out. We are in desperate need of beds.
As monsoon season approaches in Nepal, the multi-purpose folding beds that the Tzu Chi Foundation will be distributing will ensure that the senior and hundreds of others like her will soon get a solid night's rest.
To further their assistance to quake survivors in Nepal, Tzu Chi's disaster relief and medical team decided to organize a free clinic at the Lisha English Secondary School in Batam Port for the first time.
There were minor cracks on the walls, and we have filled up a little bit of cement over here.
The Lisha English Secondary School is located near the Maheswari tent community and only suffered minor damage in the quake. The school has given Tzu Chi the permission to use this temporary classroom as a free clinic site.
Inside the temporary classroom, Tzu Chi doctors get ready to offer their services. As the free clinic takes place inside the school, many patients are students.
Some suffer from stomach ache, diarrhea, and constipation, while others suffer from cough or heel rash.
This is the first time that doctors have arrived to provide medical services at the Lisha English Secondary School. Many teachers gladly put on Tzu Chi's volunteer vest to help doctors with translation.
Many people are now homeless because of the earthquake, and there are a lot of mosquitoes in the tent community. The monsoon season is here, so it is very easy for children to fall ill.
Upon learning of Tzu Chi's free clinic, many parents also flock to the venue to receive medical care. Despite the crowded space, this temporary classroom has become a health center that safeguards children and residents' bodies and minds. Moving to the Philippines recently, a fire broke out due to an unattended lake candle in Barangay Marulas of Venezuela City. Tzu Chi volunteers soon mobilized to bring aid and care for the 50 affected families.
A fierce blaze swept across this compound in Valenzuela City. As many families here cannot afford electricity, residents often resort to lighting candles as a light source. Unfortunately, an unattended candle triggered a fire which affected 50 families in the area.
We're staying at a local elementary school for the time being, but we will have to move out within the next 4 to 5 days, as schools will resume classes.
As affected families are temporarily residing at local schools, not only do they have to worry about seeking permanent shelter, they also face many challenges ahead. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared relief items to ease the minds of the fire victims.
We're all very happy because we were given straw mats and blankets, as well as rice and some canned food.
Despite the bleak situation, local volunteers who were also once victims of disasters worked to boost residents' morale by sharing stories of Tzu Chi's bamboo bank era and encouraging them to transform their grief into strength.
Even though we are poor and victims of this fire incident, we can still help others who have also been affected by this tragedy.
Residents come together in prayer not only to pray for themselves, but their neighbors as well, as they all hope to gain the strength and courage to rebuild their lives.
In Taiwan, we meet police officer Zhang Yaoxun, who is also a member at Tzu Chi Police Association. In order to show the even more Tzu Chi's work, Zhang has even applied for retirement.
I guess it's for the sake of doing what is right, since my job is about upholding justice. So I naturally want to help those who are worse off than me and are in need of assistance. People will notify me about anyone within my jurisdiction who is in need of assistance, and I will then pass the information to the Taiwan Tzu Chi chapter.
Zhang Yaoxun believes he is blessed because he is always serving a higher cause.
Police officers are public servants who have direct contact with citizens, so we need to cultivate ourselves continuously to carry out our job.
Determined to walk the right path, Zhang actively invites his colleagues to join him.
Tzu Chi is a Buddhist organization that practices proper worship, so I must share it with more people instead of simply enjoying the benefits myself.
Having been a police officer for 33 years, Zhang should have long ago been promoted. But in order to devote more time to Tzu Chi, Zhang turned down all promotions and in fact has applied for retirement just so he can volunteer full-time.
Actually, I don't want him to retire as we are already understaffed as it is. But he told me he wants to volunteer for Tzu Chi, so I couldn't say anything else.
When he is off duty, Zhang shows up at the station under another guise. Zhang will join the Tzu Chi Police Association in caring for his colleagues.
He will constantly remind everyone to look after their own health. After checking our blood pressure, he always reminds us to draw a Jing Si aphorism, which I have kept.
Thanks to him, we know how to interact with police officers whenever we visit a police station. He is really a devoted member of our police association.
Using smiles to help relax the tension typically found in a police station, members of the Tzu Chi Police Association do their best to support all police officers.
I feel very grounded inside. I can now do more as a volunteer.
Though retiring from his post as a police officer, Zhang will continue to devote his time as a bridge between the Tzu Chi Police Association and the police.
You can't make enough money in this world, so it is better to cultivate spiritual wealth.
Next, we meet a teacher from Bandung, Malaysia, who is leading 17 of his students in the participation of the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra that will debut in July.
Here in Klang, Malaysia, when lessons are over in this math classroom, it transforms into a rehearsal space for the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra.
I have seen these students grow up by participating in the sutra performance. They get lessons I can't teach them.
Huang Yongzhen is leading 17 of his students in the July performance of the musical adaptation of the Water Repentance Sutra. Bandung is a small town 30 kilometers away from the city center of Klang. However, the distance is not a problem for the Tzu Chi musical production team in Klang, as they make a special trip to visit the group so they may further synchronize their movements.
The students have a lot of school activities besides this, so thankfully they are very motivated to rehearse on their own during their spare time. I'm very touched by it all. I think if it wasn't for their participation, they would probably just be wasting their time.
But what have the students themselves learned from their participation in the Sutra musical?
经文里面有哪一些让你觉得你要改变的呢？
暴躁习性常伤人哦，因为我们伤害到他们，也伤害到我们自己，也让自己增加了一些 作业。
开口闭口都是出口，现在开始慢慢减少。
为什么想要减少？
受路径这样影响，口吐莲花。
课业里面
These are lessons that students can learn in textbooks. They are like a seed waiting for the right time to sprout.
Though the participation of the sutra performance has made Huang's day more hectic, seeing the changes in his students makes the entire effort more worthwhile.
老师，我们从最远就是任嘉龙。
Around 1 p.m., Huang Yongzhen heads out to various areas in Banding to pick up students who are participating in the sutra performance's 3 p.m. rehearsal.
I don't want their participation in this event to affect their family. With this help in transportation, parents are more willing to go along with their child's participation.
A recent high school graduate, Zhang was so drawn to fun and games that he went astray.
I made some bad friends. They would meet up really late and sometimes even force me to drink alcohol. And I ended up coming home late.
We tried to raise him well, yet this happened.
It was thanks to Huang's encouragement and wise words that inspired Zhang to step away from evil.
There's a sentence in the sutra that spoke to me. I repent for being drawn to deviant behaviors and evil friends. I'm sorry for wasting so much time. Our finances were not that great to begin with, yet I continued to abuse it.
Every time Zhang remembers how he has let down his teacher and family, he blames himself.
I was really bad before. I don't want to make the same mistakes.
看到孩子改变，妈妈怎么想？高兴。
叛逆期。
Students going through their rebellious phase need extra love and care. I'm really thankful to these young bodhisattvas. If it wasn't for them, I don't know what I would do with my life. We are growing together.
With love, teachers help shape a student's life and also help them to succeed in the days ahead.
Moving to Taiwan, we meet young vegetarian Zhang Yunting to see how she inspires her parents to become vegetarians.
I discovered that actually many animals are afraid of humans because humans eat them.
还没到1岁的时候，他就会比较排斥吃鱼肉的东西了。
Perhaps this is her karma. She was born a vegetarian.
I feel that they shouldn't be there. Shouldn't the animals be free to roam? When I saw them, they were on a truck, heading for the slaughterhouse. I felt so sorry for them. Every time I go to English lessons, I pass by a farm. Since both my parents' zodiac signs are cows, I say to my parents, people eat beef, and since you are both cows, what if you were eaten? That wouldn't be good. I continue to remind my parents not to kill.
4岁的时候，他就开始会去。
At the age of 4, she would remind me with her words or action.
或者是用言语去表达。
肢体是。
She would hit me.
All the books in the tree house.
She's like a sponge. You teach her something and she easily absorbs it. She takes in that information very easily. There's a clarity with her words, her expression. So I find there's just something very special about her as a child.
When we're out and we don't know what to eat, I will suggest, why don't we go home and cook? It's always the tastiest.
我专属的打我子比较安全。
I try to balance a meal's nutrients and try to have a variety of colors.
需要帮忙再告诉我哦。
乖耶。
My favorite dish is the sweet potato leaf with some soy sauce on top. It's delicious.
五彩缤纷的再来了。有些小朋友。
Some of the children are very envious of my lunch. They think that mine is tastier than theirs. I tell them my mother is very glad to prepare a lunch for you too. However, some of their mothers refuse because they think that only eating vegetables is not healthy.
I think her physical strength and energy is pretty good. When I was her age, I wasn't as healthy or energetic as she is now.
好了，好了，哇！
贝奇，这是我们的瑜伽教室。Hello。
She wanted to take up yoga and learn to play the piano. Actually, she is more willing to learn and has less learning problems now that she's a vegetarian.
I have a wish, and that is, if all restaurants on planet Earth only serve vegetables, then no one would eat meat anymore.
To add an extra touch to their graduation, 4 students from Lingdong University's Department of Visual Communication Design in Taichung, Taiwan, decided to create artwork using trash they collected from Mangxue. But first, we traveled to New Taipei City to see how the Bali landfill creates an ecological park within its dump site. With butterflies flying around and lotus flowers blooming on the pond, it is hard to imagine that this place is situated inside the Bali landfill of New Taipei City.
We have developed 80 hectares of land here, and 60% of the slopes stayed the same. We created this ecological park without changing much of its original look, so it is a great habitat for plants and insects.
Different from other traditional landfills, the Bali landfill is not only filled with unique natural wonders, but also a trail that gives members of the public a chance to enjoy some fresh air. Among the popular insects inside the park are the Taiwan beetles.
We discovered that there are a lot of beetles inside the ecological park. In just one wax tree, one can find hundreds of beetles. By providing a natural habitat that is suitable for beetles, we can repopulate them easily.
Since the establishment of the ecological park in 1998, the Bali landfill continues to change the public's perception of a dump site. In the near future, the park also hopes to incorporate environmental education to inspire people to appreciate nature. Picking up trash while making their way up to Xueshan are 4 graduates of Lingdong University's Department of Visual Communication Design. The purpose of their trip is not only to clean up the mountain, but to search for reusable items that can be transformed into postcards, books, and much more.
Many people think our artwork is special because it is made from unwanted items we found on the mountain. By using our creativity, these things are then turned into art.
Among the 4 students is Malaysian Huang Jueshen, who has been studying in Taiwan for a decade. Huang says the cleanup effort has been extremely meaningful for him personally.
Although I'm not native Taiwanese, I still want to contribute my strength to this good cause. I hope more people can join our ranks. They have encouraged their classmates and friends to participate in the cleanup event. I believe they collected at least 100 kilograms of trash in the mountains.
Thanks to the dedication of 4 students, the graduation project was transformed into a long-term goal. Moreover, with the assistance of teachers, parents, and kind-hearted individuals, these students plan to further their efforts by making a documentary to inspire even more to join the mountain cleaning effort. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.